Another weekend has come and gone. The last weekend of the month of June. And I believe on July 2nd at 12 noon, we will hit the halfway point of this year, the way I've calculated. Anyway, we are going to be looking at the week ahead. There's a 4th of July holiday on Friday with the weekend to follow. We've got severe weather risk also to think about over the next couple of days. So let's get started on this Sunday night Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And you can support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast by shopping our referral link on Amazon, which is pinned to the top of the chat board. It's also on the descriptor to this podcast, which you'll find right under the title on YouTube. Just search for your stuff and shop, and Amazon will throw us back a little bit of coin for sending you there, and it doesn't cost you 1 extra cent, and it keeps the live stream commercial free, which is good. So thank you for those of you who have shopped our Amazon referral link. And Tempest by Weatherflow. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system. Join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link for this is also on the descriptor to this podcast. Use the coupon code SUMMER2025 because if you do, you'll get
10% off. And in fact, as a bonus tonight, everybody on the chat board has a number after their name, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, I don't either. That's something new. I have no idea. It must be a YouTube thing. Maybe the number reflects that there are 91 other, like for example, Vincent Croce is Vincent Croce 92. So are there 91 other Vincent Croces that are on YouTube? So this kind of makes them distinct. I don't know.
Well, this is weird because everybody has a number except for Carol DeChara. She doesn't have a number.
She doesn't have a number. Maybe she's the only. You know what? I'm thinking that's what it is because Frank 2130. So you got to think there's 2,129 other Franks out there. But how many Carol DeCaras are there?
Mr. TRW is also no number.
Yeah, so that must be it. They must have decided that, let's put a number on everybody so that it's makes them stand out. Now that theory might not work, Joe, because Magno LIAP 5824. So
Magnolia P.
Magnolia P. So they're I don't think there's 5,800 other Magnolia Ps. But you know what? They are here on our chat board, and we know that they are who they are. Correct?
I guess so. Wait a minute. Coin Pig doesn't have one, and neither does Saba Hunter and Mr. TRW. So some have it, some don't, but whatever.
All right. Anyway, did you have a nice weekend? That's the most important thing. Did you have a nice weekend?
Oh, hum.
Well, I had a nice weekend. I was at my friend's house last night because this was the 4th annual Wings Wars. If I didn't make any, but if you make chicken wings and you compete, and the winner takes home a chicken trophy. So that was interesting. Also, somebody decided that it would be fun to make to bring in cooked chicken's feet. I don't know if you've ever had cooked chicken's feet.
I've had pig's feet. I've never had chicken feet.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. Normally I'm okay with like trying odd stuff, but that wasn't on my list. Let's put it that way. So we have a new tropical storm that will be gone by this time tomorrow, if not sooner, in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. So that gets rid of another name. And we have the week ahead. I mean, it just to me, it kind of looks like it's a summer week, summery conditions. The payoff is going to be, I think, on Friday, Independence Day, because it looks like we'll have dew points in the 50s, which would be really nice. Should be actually a pretty nice day. But we do have severe weather risks on the table, both for tomorrow and particularly for Tuesday, which I think is the day where you probably will see more widespread severe weather as opposed to tomorrow.
It looks like right now that we might even see some convection tomorrow night here in the tri-state area, but the real convection, the one that possibly could bring some gusty winds and maybe something verging on severe, probably will wait until later on Tuesday or Tuesday evening. And then behind the system that'll be passing us by comes improvement on Wednesday. Um, I was trying to determine whether or not I should mention maybe a shower for Thursday because we've got another. I guess you can call it a trough or
I put it in.
you did have it.
I did put it in for Thursday. Yeah, a
I,
chance.
I mentioned a bit more cloud cover on Thursday, but whatever. Once that goes on by, that's when the big drop or the significant drop in the dew point will take place for Friday. Friday looks
Right.
like, as I will agree with you, beautiful day, dew points in the 50s, low 80s for highs, lots of sunshine. It will look like a near perfect day for the fabulous 4th. And then as we look into the weekend, not too bad on Saturday, although it'll be a bit more humid. And then back we go to hot, hazy, humid weather probably a week from now on Sunday.
Yep. I'm on board with it. Uh, should be should be okay. I mean, this is a big vacation week coming up. A lot of folks, big, especially with the 4th of July on a Friday. You've got a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I'm sure a lot of people decided to take off starting tomorrow. But anyway, welcome to everybody on the chat board tonight, and those of you who are lurking in the background, welcome to tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And we're here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. There are no changes in the schedule for this week so far. We might take off next Sunday. But for now, we'll be here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do turn your notifications on so you don't miss us. And if you like the show, hit the like button.
Okay.
Okay. So shall we
You
get
want me to hit
started?
it?
What's that?
You want me to hit the like button? I just did.
Oh, good. It's good that we certainly should like our own show.
Yes.
Okay. Because, it just makes sense. All right, so let's get started. Would you like to do the radars tonight, Mr. Rayo?
I will do that. I guess I haven't had a chance really to look at much of anything today, but um,
Well,
I'm assuming I'm
use this.
assuming that it's
Go ahead.
somewhere down in the Gulf of Mexico where Barry uh, is, I guess,
Yeah.
where the activity.
Well, there's some stuff going on just to the south over southern New Jersey. There's actually a severe thunderstorm warning last I checked over for in Atlantic County in New Jersey around Atlantic City. But if you get yourself ready with the
Oh
radars,
yes, I see, and also in Virginia and portions of North Carolina. Okay, so there is stuff. Nothing going on locally in points north and east of here, but yeah, I will get ready and loaded for that.
wonderful, most appreciated. All right, let me get my mouse. Why is my mouse not, there it goes. Okay, so it is behaving now. So, no, it's not. Hold on a second, folks. Just give me a moment here. Um, well, for some reason, let's see if that will. Let's try it this way. I'm trying to get the maps up and they're not coming.
Uh-oh.
Ah, there we go. I got them. Okay, just a minor a minor hitch in my get along here. Not a whole lot going on weather-wise in the east from the standpoint of that requires watches and warnings. It's pretty quiet, but we do have some thunderstorms to the south, and there was a severe thunderstorm warning up near and around Atlantic City in southern New Jersey, but that may be done. We do have a couple of areas with severe thunderstorm watches, one in southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri, with flash flood watches in northwest Missouri. We have a small area of severe thunderstorms, a severe thunderstorm watch in southern Wisconsin, and a severe thunderstorm watch up for northeastern Colorado, western Nebraska, southwest South Dakota, southeast Wyoming, flood watches in West Texas and in a few counties in New Mexico, and various heat advisories up in the Pacific Northwest. And looking at the satellite loop, couple of things to point out here. First of all, for the last number of days, we've been seeing afternoon and evening thunderstorms scattered around the mid Atlantic, down through the southeast, and across the Gulf states. And today is no different. There's some stronger storms in a line that's moving across Wisconsin. That's part of that severe thunderstorm watch in southern Wisconsin. Also, a little bit of a line or a line segment in southern Missouri. And then you see storms along the Gulf Coast, maybe a bit of a sea breeze front here along the Gulf Coast because a lot of these cells are moving from south to north. And then you see the rotation in the southwest Gulf, which is Tropical Storm Barry. It's uh, nothing exceptional. Top winds are 45 miles per hour, and we'll get to that momentarily. But we do have a fair amount of lightning strikes going on across Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. And our Mr. Rayo is going to pop up the radars and have at it, Joseph.
Okay, well, I've already got it all set and loaded and ready to go, and Rich Rothmansky on the chat board pointing out that just a few moments ago there was a strong wind gust reported at Atlantic City, I think 52 miles per hour from a thunderstorm, and you can see that thunderstorm on the radar. Let me just move it up a little bit here. It came in from the west, moved almost directly over Atlantic City, or maybe directly over Pomona, which is the airport where the weather observations are taken. I'm sure also at Atlantic City, if you were on the boardwalk, you got a little wet from that. But again, that's well south of the tri-state area. I mean, here in New York, Long Island, most of northern and north central New Jersey and the Hudson Valley, it turned out to be a dry day, a slightly less humid day, with lots and lots of sunshine and temperatures probably peaking mostly in the upper and middle 80s. But further south, where we have the front that did usher in some of that drier air, again down towards Atlantic City, South Jersey, they're getting, or they did receive a potent storm. Also, not too far away, Millville. Actually, the storm seems to, the brunt of the storm there seems to have passed just south of Millville. There are also a couple of thunderstorms over in southern sections and central sections of Delaware. And also, I see one here on the radar over in northern sections of Virginia. And in fact, if we go to Virginia, let's go to the Washington, D.C., Sterling, Virginia site. You can see that, again, it's nothing really much to write home about, but in those areas where they are getting convection or thunderstorm activity, it looks like it could be rather potent for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. Here's that one area I mentioned for southern Delaware, which seems to be moving south and crossed over into a part of eastern Maryland. And again, you can see here's northern Virginia and central Virginia, and you can see that it more or less is like hit and miss activity. Small but potent area of convection occurring in a few places, and wherever those storms pass over, they're probably producing brief heavy downpours, maybe a strong gusty wind for a short time, and maybe even a touch of hail. But again, more of northern and central Virginia are dry, and it's just these places down here where the storms seem to be just simply popping up, so to speak. If we go to the Raleigh-Durham, Clayton, North Carolina radar, you can see some of those storms in northern Virginia and central Virginia. In North Carolina proper, you have to look to the west. Over in western and central sections of North Carolina, there are a few showers and potent storms. There's some up here. There's a couple of more down here. And it looks like they're moving on a southerly course. And again, in a few cases toward the end of the loop, the activity seems to be intensifying or increasing. Let me see if I can get that one area in western North Carolina closer to the center here so we can take a look at it. Well, now it's supposed to be over here now, to the east of Greenville, Spartanburg, South Carolina radar. But you can see a rather potent area here. But again, more dry conditions, more of places that are not seeing much of anything. But again, here and there popping up in the late afternoon heat and humidity, there are again showers and scattered thunderstorms. Now, Joe, can you hear any thunder where you are? Because it looks
I
like
did I did about 15 minutes ago. We had rumbles of thunder, and then since say 4 o'clock this afternoon, we've had a few rounds with thunderstorms. I haven't really gotten a whole lot of rain out of them. I think there was some to my east and some to my west, um, but I haven't really gotten clobbered. We
the
briefly had a heavy downpour, and I can't imagine we got more than a few hundredths out of it.
Atlanta, the radar at Peachtree City, not showing anything in the immediate vicinity, but up toward where Joe is. And these storms seem to be moving on a south to north trajectory. And again, rather close to Mr. Chiaffi. But now take a look down here over in Alabama way. We've got some really significant storm activity that's apparently firing up. In fact, look at that squall line. We'll take a look at that by going to, let's see, let's go to the Maxwell Air Force Base Carville radar, and you can see right here. Look at that. That's a pretty significant line that has put itself together over, let's say, the last hour or so. And again, inside of that line, I'm sure showers and scattered heavy thunderstorms, gusty winds, maybe some hail occurring. And again, this is from the Maxwell Air Force Base radar, Carville radar, which is centered right about here. And if I go further south, maybe I get an even better perspective of this. Let's go to, well, that's the same one we just had. So let me go, let's see what Tallahassee would show, how this would show up on Tallahassee radar. It would probably be over here, because
About
here's Georgia.
maybe Mobile.
Let's try Mobile. Let's see. Mobile, Alabama, Bates. And again, this line here it is. Oh boy, look at that. That extends not only through south central Alabama, but extends across the border on into south central Mississippi. Look at that line. That is one potent. It's a
As
narrow
impressive as it
line.
look as impressive as it looks on the radar, uh, there are no severe thunderstorm warnings right now in either Alabama or Mississippi. There's 12 around the country, one in Arkansas, one in Missouri, one in North Carolina, three in Nebraska, two in Oklahoma, two in South Dakota, and four in Wyoming. And that's according to tornadohq.com.
Well, that's pretty amazing because that really looks like a very potent line and a significant line, a snaky line, if you will. It seems like it on the loop here. One segment here is growing over Mississippi. The other segment is growing over Alabama, and toward the end of the loop, they kind of join forces or join together.
Yeah, that does look cool. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
And so I just want to go one more, all the way down to Brownsville. If there is picking up on anything, offshore or whatever associated with Barry, I guess maybe this might be due to Barry down here. Maybe. I mean, nothing substantial or really dynamic, but again, down in South Texas and in portions of Mexico here, they are getting wet. And I'm sure that it's also very humid, very muggy down here, supporting all of that moisture as well.
Check eastern Colorado and eastern Wyoming
We shall do so. Your wish is my command. Let's go to Denver.
or something.
Denver, Denver is picking up on Front Range Airport. Denver is picking up on some activity north of the Denver area, actually. And in fact, if I go a little more to the north of there, let's go up to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and you can see, yeah, there are a few localized areas, cells of heavy duty precipitation that are occurring, and these are moving, it looks like, toward the northeast on a southwest to northeast trajectory. And these also seem to show signs of producing gusty winds. And are there any tornado?
No,
Um,
no tornado warnings.
okay.
Not
Well,
that I
anyways,
see.
so there you go. I mean, they do have some activity out in the out in the far west as of this hour.
All right. Uh, okay, so let's see what else is going on here. We'll go to Oh, it's not letting me. Hold on just a second. I gotta figure this out here. What's the problem? Oh, good Lord, have mercy. Let's try it this way. There you go. So here's what it looks like on the wide radar, where you can see all the activity from coast to coast. Some stronger storms moving through southern Wisconsin, also into southern Missouri. And the west is as quiet as a mouse. So the Storm Prediction Center tonight, we have those two working severe thunderstorm, three working severe thunderstorm watches up that we mentioned earlier. There's also an area of marginal risk across Virginia, through Maryland, Delaware, and southern New Jersey, and that seems to be playing out given what the radar is indicating. And as far as the slight risk is concerned, that's mainly from western Missouri back to eastern Wyoming and northeastern Colorado, and also across northeastern Iowa into Wisconsin and touching the upper peninsula of Michigan. Now, for tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk over New Jersey to New York City, eastern Pennsylvania, down to Virginia, northern Virginia, and then west across Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, western Tennessee, Arkansas, and then kind of snakes back across southern Oklahoma and northern Texas. And marginal risk to me always means isolated severe thunderstorms. And also an area of marginal risk in southern Oregon and northern California. So you got that going on. Tornado risk is less than 2% in all areas. Now, day three, the Storm Prediction Center has actually updated this morning. They only had a marginal risk. Now they've added a slight risk, which I think is probably a wise decision on their part for central and South Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and northeast Virginia. And I have a feeling that they're probably going to have to expand that a little bit, but we'll see what they do with it tomorrow. The marginal risk goes all the way up to southern Maine and all the way south into South Carolina. Also, a small area of marginal risk in western Nebraska. Now, as for rainfall this week, remember, convective means that you can take these amounts with a grain of salt because local areas, depending on how thunderstorms behave, could wind up with 50% higher rainfall amounts, maybe even 100% higher rainfall amounts. And in rare instances, we can get them to be 200% above the rain amounts that are being forecast. So generally, it's a half inch to an inch up and down the East Coast with a little bit of variability, a few places a little lower and a few places a little higher, like Southeast PA, parts of southern New Jersey, down through the Delmarva Peninsula into Southeast Virginia and central North Carolina. There's an area of an inch and a half plus. Florida is going to be dealing with a tropical flow off the Atlantic, and that means showers. There's also an upper low that's sitting east of the Bahamas, and also going to see some heavy rains along the west coast of Florida, indicating some areas of 5 to 7 inches. Otherwise, a very broad area of 3 to 5 inches covering the Gulf Coast back to almost to southeast Louisiana. Areas of a half an inch to an inch, with small pockets of an inch and a half across the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, the middle and upper Mississippi and Missouri River valleys, into areas in West Texas and New Mexico, parts of Colorado, and up into even into the northern Rockies, a few areas with a half to three quarters, and everybody else is kind of dry. So we're back with a busier northwest flow in the upper atmosphere. We just backing up from late last week. We had a ridge along the East Coast. You can see it here, this upper high that was brought all the heat for 3 days. And you had a troughing in the west. There's ripples along in the flow. The northwest flow from Canada last Thursday was just to our north, and then eventually it moved back southward as we roll along. You can see it here, uh, more of a westerly flow, and now we've got a short wave here for Monday moving into Minnesota and Wisconsin into the western lakes. It's hard to see. There's a little bit of a shortwave trough that's moving through for later tomorrow and tomorrow night, but it's the second trough that's a little bit more impressive, and that's for Tuesday. And this is what's going to set off the potential for some severe weather. And then another short wave drops down, actually, a cutoff low drops down into southeastern Canada on Thursday and moves into New England. And the cutoff actually drops into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine on Friday. And that is going to bring that shot of low humidity and dry air. It's really almost like a dew point front that's coming through, and they're slightly
True.
cooler, yeah. And that's going to drop the dew points, and then that pulls out. We get a bit of ridging over the weekend and into early next week. And actually, as we move through next week, the flow gets more northwest over time, and by the end of next week, and we're talking about the week beginning Sunday, July 6th. I don't know why I said January. July 6th. By the end of that week, there's another trough dropping down into the eastern United States. And if this is correct, and if this is correct by Wednesday of next week and beyond, that's a pretty impressive trough there that's coming in that's coming down with probably a decent shot of dry and cooler air for the end of next week. So we don't have big ridges building in the eastern states. So at least for now, I don't see any real signs of another heat wave like the one we just had coming anytime soon.
Now that little disturbance that's moving through, the upper disturbance that's moving through later this week, that I believe is what you would probably uh, add the shower threat on Thursday
Yeah,
for.
that's why I put it in for Thursday.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, that kind of looks overdone to me. You don't see too many of those at this time of the year.
Yeah, but don't
Um,
forget we had was it about 8 or 9 days ago on a was it on a Friday night or Saturday morning, something similar,
right,
or maybe it was a Saturday night, Sunday morning, where it looked like it was going to be all up in New England, and I woke up and looking
right.
at the radar and saw this
That
massive
was
area dropping southward.
that was last Sunday.
Yeah,
Don't
last
remind
Sunday.
me. That was when I left all of our lawn equipment outside the night before, and Renata said, "You sure you don't want to bring it in and put it in the garage?" Nah, don't worry about it. Nothing's going to happen until after 11 o'clock, maybe early afternoon, 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning, I hear like boom, boom, boom. I look outside. Oh no! Out I went. That's to put all the stuff back into the garage and keep it dry. Ah, well,
Well, this is
hopefully that will not happen. That, by the way, on the screen that you have there, that's one heck of a squall line. Look at that.
oh
Look
yeah,
at that.
that is, and the European is actually, yeah, and I probably should look at the short range model to see some of the short range models to see what they're doing. But the Europeans got like a pretty big bullseye of red sitting over the Hudson Valley and Western Connecticut late Tuesday afternoon, and then another narrow one in northern Maryland and northern Delaware. So, it's pretty bullish with the development of showers and thunderstorms, and also developing some strong storms down the Appalachians to me for Tuesday as well. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Now, Wednesday, for some reason, the European, this, whatever's coming through gets briefly hung up. So it does actually show some showers into early Wednesday morning before they push offshore. So I would probably want to be a little careful about that. And then, like you said, the rest of Wednesday looks okay. Thursday, again, you got this little cutoff low that's coming down into New England, and the model is picking up on some showers and storms, although it's tending to want to keep them more in upstate New York and in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. But again, we'll see. It's a little bit different this time, Joe, because that thing came around the top of the ridge and just kind of slid down, and
Right.
we don't have that same setup here. Um,
And
Friday,
don't forget that in advance of that, and the Storm Prediction Center was talking about the MCC or the MCS or
right,
whatever you want to call it now, and they were highlighting mostly northern sections of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And as it turned out, the worst of it hit central New York. I mean, parts of Syracuse, for example, and other areas in that zone got tremendous amounts of rain
right.
and big thunderstorm. So you can't really be all that certain with these kind of mesoscale events, at least more than a few days in advance. We're under the impression that there's going to be something lurking perhaps late Wednesday or Thursday. But to try to pin down exactly who's going to get what at this point in time, it's a little bit, I wouldn't say futile, but wait a day or two, and we'll have a better handle on that.
If you look at Friday for the 4th of July in the east, except for maybe some showers up in scattered showers up in Maine with the upper low, everybody from the Mississippi River eastward is nice and sunny and dry. Even the scattered thunderstorms that are developing right now, they've been developing in the afternoon and evening hours across the South and the Southeast and up into the Mid Atlantic states, those go away. And stronger storms look like they'll be in the plains on Friday from Kansas on northward up into Minnesota because there's a little low there that's in South Dakota that's moving northeastward. And next weekend looking pretty good here, if you want to believe the European. There is a front that arrives on Monday with some showers and storms that lingers around for a day or so, and then you got a nice cool high that comes down at the end of next week, which is with that new trough that we're going to be dealing with later next week. Again, assuming that the models continue to do whatever it is they're doing. In the meantime, we should mention that the NAM is finally going away. The NAM is going away. It's going to be replaced by another short range model. I think the RAP or something like that. But honestly, it was supposed to go away in 2016, and it got a reprieve. But that model has never been upgraded. Certainly hasn't been upgraded to any extent in the last 10 years. And the truth to be told, Joe, in recent years, it, it really has become somewhat of a squirrely model. I mean, you and I have seen it do really weird things, especially in the winter months. I mean, it used to really be uh, very, very useful during the winter months, but in the last number of years, it just hasn't. It just doesn't work anymore. So it was a nice tool that lasted a long, long time, and we say goodbye to that. And
When
we'll
will we
be.
be? When is the final day? Do you have that?
I don't know when the final day is, but I think it gets later this year.
Okay,
And
I'm
then
gonna
they're
miss.
going to
I'm gonna miss looking at the foose unless the replacement is also gonna have kind of like a foosey
a
or
Fusi
tagular
thing.
type of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, but we have to. We have to. It's like going to a wake. We say goodbye to the Nam, and they bring in a new model. But in all honesty, it just has not been it just hasn't been working well for a long, long time.
It's
So
outlived its usefulness,
yeah,
so to speak.
so let's we'll be going to something else. And speaking of going to something else, it's Briller Jeopardy time, Joe.
And I believe I have it this week or
Yes, you do.
tonight, and so I give me a chance to find it. And and I will bring it up and we'll look at it. Um, come on, come on, buffer wheel. I just have the
What do you
wheels
have?
going
Circle of
round and
Death
round,
going on, round and round it goes, and
round
where
and
it
round and round.
stops,
All
nobody
right, I've
knows.
got it. I've
Oh,
got it. So here we go. As we continue on Briller Jeopardy with the highest temperatures ever in each state, we're going to look at S through V, starting with South Dakota. The highest temperature ever recorded in the state of South Dakota was or is,
I'm gonna take a shot here. For some reason, this number popped into my head. I'm gonna say a buck 20.
we're off to a flying start, ladies and gentlemen.
Really? Wow. I
100,
really, Joe. I just
120.
for some reason a 120 popped into my head, and I went with it. So did Rich Rothmansky with the buck 20.
All right. Congratulations to all of you who have 120. And close was Magnolia P 5824 with 118, and Northern Grace 6108 with 122. Now that we add these temperatures to these new numbers after everybody's name, it makes it even more confusing. But anyway, how about Tuxedo, Tennessee? All right,
Tennessee.
Chumley, what do you think the highest temperature in Tennessee is?
Tennessee. I'll say 113.
Ah!
Again?
What are you
I
looking
need to
at?
go play a lottery ticket.
What are you looking
I
at?
need to.
Google?
We need to stop the show now, and I need to go play a lottery ticket. 113. Wow.
Pretty
Magnolia,
amazing.
Magnolia P, and I also got 113.
William Huber, Magnolia P, and is anybody else? Joe's on a
Now,
roll. I
CWTR
agree.
Shark. I swear to you, I am guessing here. Okay, so it's not rigged. Okay, I've just been lucky 2 guesses in a row.
So let's go for three in a row then. How about Texas?
Texas. Oh God, that's a big state. Hmm. And you get some really crazy numbers sometimes in West Texas. Let's say I'll say a buck 24.
If you hadn't mentioned the four, you would have had three in a row.
Oh, okay. So that means Magnolia P at 120.
Magnolia P at 120. Yep, and so far that's the only one that's been on the nose for this one. Oh, here's Mr. TRW's with 120.
Okay.
But there you go, 120. That's our second 120 of the five on the list. How about Utah?
Utah. Hmm. That's some places in Utah get really hot, others not so much. Uh I'll say a buck 22.
Joe, if you hadn't mentioned the two,
Again,
it,
buck 20.
a buck 20. There were three buck 20s on this list: South Dakota,
120 for Northern Grace
Texas,
at 120.
and Utah. Northern Grace, congratulations, you
And
got it at
Mr.
120.
TRW.
Mr. TRW's with 120. All right, I will tell you this: this final one, number
Is
five, not 120.
okay.
It's Vermont.
Oh, Vermont. Uh I'll say 106.
So close, Joe.
Really? Bobby Livingsworth said 105.
Bobby Livingsworth, the only one of the few that doesn't have a number after his name tonight, is correct. 105. Give him a bell ring, Joe. Here's the bell ring. Congratulations for that.
And I think we're out of states now, aren't we? No, there's Wisconsin, right?
Well, yeah, we'd have
And
to
Washington State
Washington
and
and
Virginia
and
and West
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, so we're not
So
done
we
yet.
got those are the 4 states that come to mind, and Wyoming. So those are the next 5.
Right.
Okay. All right. Very good. Don't anybody cheat. Okay. All right. I guess that's it. So, like I said, no schedule changes through Thursday, but we might take next Sunday off. We'll see. In the meantime, everybody have a great rest of your evening. I hope your week is good, and we'll see you all tomorrow night at 7:35 p.m. Don't forget, if you want to support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, you can use the referral link that's on the top of the chat board to do your Amazon shopping. And Amazon throws us back a little bit of coin for sending you there, and it doesn't cost you 1 cent out of your own pocket, and it keeps the show, the live stream, commercial free. And also, if you want a weather station, Tempest by Weatherflow. The link is on the descriptor to this podcast. And if you use the coupon code SUMMER 2025, you will get.
10% off.
So we'll see everybody tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody.
99